Hi everyone, it is January 3rd, 2012, and I had a couple of stories here I wanted to get to, but before I get to it, I wanted to answer a couple of questions. One person asked me what camera I was using, and I thought I mentioned it. I'm using right now the same camera I was always using, which was the Logitech QuickCam Pro 9000. It's probably one of the better cameras you can actually buy as far as webcam goes. I mean, there are other video cameras that are much better. You can buy $1,000 camera, but I picked this up at around 40 or $50, I believe. I got it on eBay, so it's a really good camera. It has the Carl Zeiss lens, and it works really well. If you have really good lighting, it works even better. So that's what I'm using for a camera to answer that person. Um, and I also wanted to answer somebody asked me why I didn't report on the Iranian request of, they want to make nice with the United States, pretty much saying that they are going to let the United States, look into their nuclear facilities, and they want to pretty much agree with the IAEA and pretty much make everything right. Um, all I have to say about that is, I mentioned this before in my previous videos. It really doesn't matter what Iran says or what Iran does, because this has been going on for the last 3 years. In my opinion, they're stalling. But if you want to believe what they're saying and they want to just, come clean with their nuclear facilities and stuff, and they're not actually building anything like weapons, it really doesn't matter, because the United States and pretty much Israel both have decided what they want to do. And that's the reason I'm making this video right now, because I'm going to show you that the United States now is pretty much tightening the screws on Iran economically. And this was just out of jpost.com today, pretty much backing Iran into a corner. And if I can just bring this up here. It says U.S. says Iran threats show sanctions starting to bite. Okay, now before I read the story, I just want to say, um, even animals, when you back them into a corner, as nice as that animal will be, they will attack. You know, I mean, any animal you corner will attack, and them cutting off all these funds to Iran pretty much will either have Iran shutting off the Straits of Hormuz, or they will just outright attack. So it says White House threats show weakness, isolation in the latest of a series of military gestures. Tehran threatens U.S. over Gulf. It says the White House said on Tuesday, which is today, folks, Iran's threat to take action if the U.S. aircraft carrier moves into the Gulf showed Tehran was increasingly isolated internationally, faced economic problems from the sanctions, and wants to divert attention from its deepening problems. He says it reflects the fact that Iran is in a position of weakness, White House spokesman Jay Carney told reporters. Now, I personally don't think they're in a position of weakness, honestly. I think Iran is not some country you want to mess with like Iraq or Libya. They have the full backing of Russia and China. So I don't really know what they're trying to do, but they're playing a very, very dangerous game here of chicken. Who will blink first, pretty much. It says separately Tuesday, Secretary of State Victoria Nuland said they are feeling increasingly isolated, and they are trying to divert the attention of their own public from the difficulties inside Iran, including the economic difficulties as a result of the sanctions. Now, if these sanctions really are hurting Iran, and we put this aircraft carrier into the Gulf, well, what would happen if Iran all of a sudden put an aircraft carrier or a large ship in our waters? We'd probably attack them, wouldn't we? So I don't know exactly what Iran's response is going to be, but it's they're almost like poking Iran and seeing what Iran would do. Like you bother a dog, as nice as that dog is, or any animal. You bother even a cute little kitten. You know, I remember my brother had a a really nice cat, and I was always allergic to this cat. And he always used to snuggle up against me. I'll never forget this. And they were very friendly. And I was sneezing my brains out. I was sneezing my brains. I was allergic to this cat, and they were very friendly. And I just couldn't take the sneezing anymore. And I took the cat and I threw it off the bed. And as I threw it off the bed, not meaning to hurt it, but I just plopped it off the bed. And it turned around and it actually hissed at me. And I was pretty shocked that it did that. I was like, wow, it went from really being nice to all of a sudden just wanting to just outright attack me. And I always remember that because, of incidents like how the United States treats these other countries. You poke and poke and poke until one day they're gonna strike back. So I just thought I'd tell you that little story. And by the way, I love animals. I just have very, very bad allergies to cats. So I'm going to be linking you guys to this article, but it says the prospect of the sanctions targeting the oil sector in a serious way for the first time has hit Iran's real currency. I guess that's the currency they use there, the real, which has fallen by 40% against the dollar in the past month. Can you imagine that, folks? 40%. So they're hurting economically, according to this article. And when a country hurts economically, and then you're going to be bringing ships into their region, well, you can only just imagine what's going to happen. So nothing really that I've seen actually seems like they want to make peace with Iran. Everything is pointing towards the direction of poking them towards a conflict. And I said it before, and I'll say it again for those of you who are new to my channel. If we have a conflict with Iran, it's not going to be like a conflict with Libya. It's not going to be like a conflict with Iraq. It's not going to be like a conflict with Afghanistan. If we have a conflict with Iran, Iran is going to strike back either at Israel or the U.S. or both. And then you're going to have a serious conflict because then Israel is going to strike back at Iran and you're going to have Russia involved. Okay? And I know people on my channel said, well, why would Russia get involved? Well, do the research, folks. Do the research on how Russia and Iran are tied economically and just a whole bunch of reasons why Russia would not like us attacking their facilities. So I just can't get into it right now, but it's just not as easy as just us attacking Iran and getting away with it. But I'll just end with this. It says the Army Chief Ataullah Salahi said the United States had moved an aircraft carrier out of the Gulf from because of Iran's naval exercises, and Iran would take action if the ship returned. So we have to wait and see what happens, folks. But, like I said before, this bears watching. And, it's amazing that you really don't see anything like this on the news. You really don't hear about anything on the news about this. Then it says it did not name the carrier, but the USS John C. Stennis leads a task force in the region, and the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet website pictured it in the Arabian Sea last week, which, by the way, one of my YouTube subscribers, Maker Electric, I believe his cousin is going into the, he wrote me that he's been called for the Fifth Fleet, if I remember correctly. So, people are being called up into service, and if you have anybody in the service that family members and stuff, well, and they're being called up, it's something that has to be watched, because that means that we're getting ready for a major, major war. They don't just call up people if there's nothing going to be doing. So that's the latest, folks. Again, I just want to thank everyone for all the comments and suggestions and links, and hopefully, I'll be able to do this on a more regular basis. I'm really happy that people like the new look, the new background. I don't have a green screen, so I really can't do anything fancy. I wish I could. I really do wish I could get a green screen and do all these graphics and stuff. But to tell you the truth, I'm working with a very limited budget, to say the least. In fact, the laptop I'm working on now, believe it or not that anyone's interested, but it's a Pentium M. Okay, it's a single core processor, 1300 megahertz, so it's 1.2, 1.3 gigahertz, and single core. But it's powerful enough to do this, so I'm happy. Anyway, I'll just link you to the article I just read, and let me know what you guys think about this whole situation, folks. Take it easy. Stay safe. Bye.